Okay, more Hyperlight Drifter control testing here. So I got an ability later in the game called um, what is it called? Well, I don't know. The game doesn't tell me. Chain dashing, I guess. At least that's what everybody else calls it. I don't know. This game doesn't tell you squat. So anyway, I found this move to be kind of hard. Like when I first got it, I didn't think it did anything. Then I saw a video of somebody sort of demonstrating the timing a little bit, and I was like, okay, so, you know, I get it. So basically what you're supposed to do now, my controls are all whacked up, and I'll explain why. So I'm in keyboard mode right now. So you're supposed to hit the space key, or the dash key, and then sort of do it rhythmically. Come on. Like that, and you can do it in this room infinitely. So I found this timing to be really hard. I have gotten, personally, I've gotten over a 150. But then I was like, the goal in this room is to get 800. So I was like, okay, well, how, what is the actual, it seemed to me like this trick was frame perfect. It's not, and I'll explain that in a minute. I was wrong about that, but it's close. But I was like, okay, well, what is the actual frame window of this thing once you get this going? Because it ramps up. It's like, and then after like the fourth or the fifth one, it's a steady rhythm. So you can hear my keyboard. So I switched it to, I was having all kinds of trouble just moving around the room. So I switched it to keyboard and mouse mode because you can, this is the sort of aiming thing. But you can you not shoot in here? You can. Sometimes. He just shrugs. I don't know why. Might be a she. Who knows? But yeah, you can just kind of plant the thing, because normally you just dash towards this. And yeah, you can get kind of a good rhythm going here. So I wanted to test a couple things. I wanted to know if this was harder or easier at 30 frames a second. I don't believe it's either. The timing does not appear to be like tied to the frame rate. But then I wanted to know, what is the frame window for actually maintaining that rhythm? Like, is it frame perfect? Or if it's not, how many frames do you have to press the button? And I'll go over the numbers here, but so what I've done is I've used Joy to Key with my arcade stick to sort of macro out presses per second. So it's 1 is the time interval, second, and you'll see that at the bottom of the screen here. It's supposed to press space 1, or every second it'll press it 4.46 times. So I got the number from somewhere. Somebody said it should be 250 beats per minute. I calculated that out to 4.17. That does work. But then it was like, okay, is that the only thing that works? But, so then I started playing with the numbers, and I'm like, okay, how fast can you go, and how slow can you go? So 4.46 is the fastest you can go, and I'll demonstrate that now. And you can hear, like, my arcade stick. That's the other button, but you can definitely hear it smashing. So you'll know when I just hold it down. Let's see if I can get this going. It's a little weird because this is on a repeat, but oops. Come on. There we go. So you see 4.46 works just fine. I have had one dropped input doing this. I don't know if that's because 4.46 is on the threshold of being too fast, but this is the fastest I found you can actually press the button. So that answers that question. How many times can you press the button a second and still do this? And the answer is 4.46. But then I wanted to know, you can see that that little meter in the middle, you have to get to 800 to fill it up. I've already done that just because I was testing this, but whatever. But then I wanted to know, okay, well, what's the slowest you can do it? Because 4.46 a second is actually pretty fast. So what we can do here is I would just play with the numbers. Like I said, I started at 4.17. Oops, I need to click OK. And I was like, okay, that works. And I would give each one about 40 or 50. Luckily, this room gives you a handy dandy counter. So that works. You could take that all the way up to 800 or beyond if you really wanted to press a button for an hour. But after a lot of playing around, I found the minimum number, which I have written down, I believe is... Oh God, what have I done? Where is it? There it is. Is this 3.13 is the slowest you can do this. And I'll see if I can demonstrate this now. And you can see that is demonstrably slower than the other method. Now I did try this at 30 and 60 frames a second. The timing is the same. So like I said, I do not believe it is actually harder or easier to do at either interval. But just to prove that these are up to the second decimal point, the minimums and maximums. So we'll go to 3.12. And maybe if you get the timing perfect, you could get this rhythm. But I could never get it to work. But you see, you can get like one extra, maybe two, and then it just falls apart. And then that's it. And I believe it's 4 minimum to start. So we'll try that again at the max here. Oops. No, auto repeat 4.46. So just to demonstrate, that's maximum. If you really want a crazy time, you can move the mouse around. Whee! By the way, these things in the middle here restore your stamina. I didn't know that until I watched a video. I didn't even know what stamina was, because I don't have anything that uses it. I really wish I could use my arcade stick for this game, by the way. It would be so glorious. But you can't, because the only way to use the arcade stick is to use joy-to key, and you're stuck in mouse aim mode. When you're in keyboard mode. I don't know why. Maybe I can get Xbox 360 CE working at some point. That would be amazing. Because I do think this game could be really fun if I could just solve a couple of problems with it. Namely the control. And find a control style that works for me. It's just, surely some people can use the analog sticks and, you know, that's all fine and well. It doesn't work for my brain. You know, if it does for yours, good for you. But it doesn't work for me. But anyway, so you'll see it's 4.47 now. And you'll see it's just too fast. It just doesn't work. So, yeah. So anyway, my math might be incorrect about this. But what I did was I took the number 30 and divided it by 4.46 to find out at what frame interval, the shortest frame interval you could hit the button at, and my number came out to 6.73. Well, it came out to like 6.727, blah, 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 blah. I don't care to get that specific. And then for the slowest, 3.13, my number came out at 9.58. I am not very good with math, so my methodology might be incorrect, and if you know of a better way to calculate this, please let me know. But if that's correct, that tells me there's a 2.85 frame window to actually get this rhythm down. That's not quite frame perfect, but holy moly, that's pretty specific. Oh, that's 2.85 at 30. At 60, obviously, you double these numbers. So it's 19... Oh, good gravy. I don't want to... yeah, 1916 and then 13 something. 6.73 times 2. That's how bad I am with math. I can't multiply three-digit numbers by a one-digit number, or by 2. That's 13.46. So you have a what is it? A 5.7 frame window to hit this button at 60 frames a second. So again, I don't think my original hypothesis, I think, was incorrect. I do not think this is easier to do at 30 or 60 or whatever. But this is still really, like, it's not quite frame perfect, but for a move that you're supposed to do all the time, holy cow, that frame window is pretty tiny. I mean, it's one thing to make your game hard, but making like a semi-advanced move be done in under 6 frames, you know, I don't know. And I don't have the sort of tools or whatever to test the rhythm to get it started. Maybe somebody else can come along, and I don't know, maybe this would be useful for casters or speedrunners. I don't have any idea. But I found these numbers very interesting, and I wanted to make a video explaining how I got the numbers, because I've been, talking to people on the Steam forums about this. They think I'm crazy, so if I was going to make a claim about a 3 to 6 frame window, I'd better back up my claim. So again, my math might be wrong. If your math, like if you know of a better methodology for calculating this, and I've done something wrong, please let me know. I'm really, really bad at math. I'm so bad at math, I run a company and I just pay somebody to do all the math. Yeah, I just, I'm the skilled labor. But, yeah. So yeah, 3 to 6 frame window, that's pretty crazy. Like I said, it's not undoable, but holy moly, because I can... Oh, I was like, what the heck? My elbow hit the button on my arcade stick, but... Once you get into a rhythm, you can kind of get it, but... Doing this while moving around... I don't know, man. Some people say they got metronomes out to do this. But anyways, because you can hear my space key, people can see that I can actually do this move, sort of. And actually, I could demonstrate this with the... If I move... do this to move direction. You know what? I'm going to turn off repeat. But I can show you I can do this with multiple control input styles. Maybe. Maybe. Oops. Well, whatever. I don't play this game with my arcade stick, so I'm not used to those controls at all. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, if my math is bad, please correct me. I'm not going to take it personally. Anyway, thanks.